Look in my eyes, baby, tell me what do you see? You look in my eyes, baby, tell me what do you see? Am I just another lost cause? Or am I a man that you know could believe? So the summer days hot enough to melt your soul. So the summer days hot enough to melt your soul. And I'm scared that what you found in me, babe, I'm scared I lost it a long time ago. But the whole world's looking for some redemption tonight, looking for love in the lightning, tears in the sky. You couldn't see the end coming for the rain in your eyes, clouds in your eyes, a whisper of whiskey on your breath. Clouds in your eyes, a whisper of whiskey on your breath. Love and lust, love and lust, love and lust, one's a cure, one's a curse. We both left me battered, bruised and broken, so I don't know which is worse. But the whole world's dying for some salvation tonight. But we found love in the lightning, tears in the sky. You couldn't see the end coming for the rain in your eyes. Love in the lightning, tears in the sky. You couldn't see the end coming for the rain in your eyes. You look in my eyes, baby, tell me what do you see? You look in my eyes, baby, tell me what do you see? Am I just another lost cause? Or am I a man that you know could believe? Or am I a man that you know could bleed? Or am I a man that you know could believe?
I learned everything as far as songwriting and those things go from listening to Springsteen records from the time I was like 16 to 18 was probably the time that I really started writing. And when all my friends were starting to drink and do all of those things, I was sitting at home kind of being a loser and just listening to his records, how he wrote, breaking down the way he wrote lyrics and the patterns and all of that. And the earliest work I did was probably in rock bands. I played a few solo shows before really breaking out, but I doubt anybody remembers that. When I first started singing and writing my own songs, I was pretty bad. And I spent a lot of time just, honing my craft, just trying to get it right. And guys like Van Morrison and a lot of soul singers. A lot of the old Motown stuff influenced me a lot. And I mean, obviously Springsteen, your earliest influence, your biggest influence, you're going to secrete it in some way. So that's in there too. But it took a lot of work, and I'm still not totally satisfied where it is now. But yeah, I guess it is unique. I can say that much about it. The writing process, I think, is different for everybody. I think you hear a lot of different answers, and people kind of describe about how they go about doing it. For me, it's sometimes the lyrics come first, sometimes it's a melody, sometimes it's a chord progression. I'm inspired a lot by music and literature and movies and just anything in the arts, really. Like it all works. But there's no way to really describe how it comes about. It's a really mysterious thing, and the best songs always seem to come in 10 minutes. I always try to make it as honest as it can be. You know, each performance is different. But for someone that hasn't seen me, for them to come in, I always want them to walk away knowing that I gave it everything I had that night. I have to put everything into it for those few hours, everything that I have, because you know my life depends on that. My next booking depends on that. The show that I put on that night has to be as good or better than the show I put on before, so that people will continue to book me. I can keep moving. I can keep making a living. You know, I'm a lifer as far as music goes. I will always do it. I will always perform. I'll always be writing. I'll always be making records. It's the only thing that I've ever really been good at, and it's the only thing that I'm just as passionate as I can be about. You know, everything else is always kind of floated in and out of my life, but not music. It's been the one constant that I've always had.
Well, I never thought I'd be just a tourist to your heart. Honey, that much I can say in truth. I always saw myself as someone there to stick around, not just some stranger passing through. I hope you know it's okay to miss me too. I hope you know it's alright if you wanna fight for me. I'm still fighting for you. I'll get myself a ticket, and I'll find a place in line. 'Cause baby, all I've got is the waiting, when there's no free ride worth taking. And all those other men laying flowers at your feet, they can't hold a candle to me. Cause I know a place where we can go whenever you're ready, where all the promises we thought we could keep, a place where they go just to wait for us to put them back together, piece by piece. I hope you know it's okay to want me to. I hope you know feet. For all those other men that don't want you to believe. For all those other men laying flowers at your feet. They can't hold a candle to me. They can't hold a candle to me.
The very first time I was ever in a studio, reckless endangerment, a couple of the parents decided, all right, they're good enough to record a demo, and they drove us up to, I think it was Doghouse Studios, something like that. Doghouse Studios, Dogtown, I don't know. And we went up there and we recorded 3 songs. We did it all live, and that was my first experience in the studio as far as that goes. Now the very next time I did it though, I was like, I guess 5 years older, and it was with Isaac Hettinger, who was the lead singer of Starks for a while, and we just did it in his bedroom. He had this like little bedroom studio set up, and it's probably pretty obvious for anybody that sees it. Its sound quality is lacking a bit, but I think the songs are there. I was working at a local pizza shop, and I was a delivery boy. And I had spent a year saving up money, and just whenever I could afford it, I would go up to Dreammaker Studios in Tawnytown, and Mike Bailey and I would cut a song. And it was probably so annoying for him, because he's used to people being able to just say like, all right, I want to do this, I want to pay this much, and let's go do it. And me, I had to be like, yeah, you know, can we do one song at a time? And he was cool enough to let me do that. And so we worked on it, we chipped away at it, and one day I called Mike, and we're just talking about where's it going to go from here, because I think we had 8 songs at the time. We were almost done. And I had the songs written to finish it. And he goes, yeah, that lightning storm last night wiped out the hard drive. And I'm driving on the interstate at the time, and I feel my hand kind of go like this and just try to veer off the road, because I knew what that meant, and that meant that everything that I had worked for that year was just gone. And I suppose it was my own fault for not having it backed up myself. But at the same time, I guess I really can't complain, because it led to me working with Ross Hogarth, who has been so good to me, and put a lot of work into, you know, a project that I probably I know I didn't pay him what he's worth. You know what I mean? He's just a really good guy, and I really hope that there are a lot more guys like that in the business, because there should be. The songwriting from the first EP to the second, I really can't tell you what changed, other than just me growing up and growing more comfortable in my own skin. I think, you know, I was so young when I cut the first one. I was 19, 20 years old, I guess, when Bitter and Bright came out. And I mean, obviously throughout that time, I was still writing, and I just kept writing. And the more you go, I guess the better you get at what you do. And I guess that's all I can really say about it. Is, you know, you grow with your songs, and sometimes you write songs that you have no idea what they're about once you write them, and then a month later something can happen and it kind of shows itself to you. And you know, Feel Free and City of Magnolias and all of those songs, they've changed meaning over time, and that's probably the biggest difference, because I still connect with those songs probably a lot more than I do the songs from the first EP. I think almost anyone would say they prefer performing live to working in a studio. It can get so bad working in there, and you're just trying to get this one part right, or you're trying to figure out, you know, what instruments to add, and you can spend hours working on a song and perfecting every part. And it's not always the artist. I mean, sometimes the producer can pull the plug and say, no, I don't like it, you know, and then you totally redo it. And it's kind of the, I don't know what to say. It's the hard work, and then the playing live, that's the payoff, you know what I mean?
Standing in the doorway, this time I'm not afraid to see her go. She's dodging every question for my pain. I don't expect her to atone. It's true she's got me reeling, but I know the score. If she's taking the battle, then I'm taking the war. 'Cause I won't believe that love's a lie. I won't believe that you couldn't try. You take everything you want, one step at a time. If this house could cry, her eyes were like the stars over the birth of everything I adored. Well, I knew better than to let you in. Now how do I get back to where I was before? Well, I swear I would have loved you, but they let you from my arms. Now I'm not so easily fooled by your charms. 'Cause I won't believe that love's a lie. I won't believe that you couldn't try. You take everything you want, one step at a time. If this house could cry, we could lose ourselves in the bottles of pain. Let these tears remove these stains, and we could leave it all one step at a time. If this house could cry, well, it's alright, it's alright if you find yourself in someone else's arms tonight. Well, it's alright, it's alright, someone will be around to treat me right. Who's gonna be around to treat you right? 'Cause I won't believe that love's a lie. I won't believe that you couldn't try. You take everything you want, one step at a time. If this house could cry, we could lose ourselves in the bottles of pain. Let these tears remove these stains, and we could leave it all one step at a time. If this house could cry, 'cause I won't believe, no, I won't believe, no, I won't believe, no, I won't believe.
Chris Henderson is just a good buddy of mine. He's a local songwriter, and I was in a really bad place at the end of the summer. I was going through a really rough time, and he really kind of stepped up and helped me out, and helped me to stay focused. And he has always been a big fan of my music, and he has since kind of grown into a really good songwriter in his own right. And he's working on his debut EP right now. I believe he's calling it The Home Sessions, and everyone definitely needs to check that out when it finally gets out there, because he's writing some really good stuff right now. Right now I'm playing a lot of places that they don't know who I am, and the goal is at that point for them to know who you are before they leave, for you to play a song that is your own that will just knock them out. And so no, the crowd itself, you know, it doesn't dictate how I go about playing a show, but over the course of the night, you start to realize what songs are working, what songs aren't, and so you try to move in a certain direction because it's obviously more meaningful to the people that are hearing it. I've played to anyone from the real white-collar types and to the totally down and out. It's a very eclectic group of people that make it out to the shows. But I kind of like it that way too, because it gives me a lot of confidence and think that I connect with people across the board, and there's not just one group of people that really say, hey, he's really good, and then the rest are like, oh, he's. I think the thing I probably get most out of it is what I got out of it right before I started writing my own songs. And that's, when you hear a certain song, it hits you on many different levels, and it almost turns into your life. When you hear that song, like you see everything of yourself in that song. And I've had that happen a few times with people that have come to see me play. And that's probably the biggest deal, because if you're in it for the money, you're probably in the wrong line of work, because there's not a whole lot of money to be made right now, at least not at the level that I'm at. And everyone hopes to get on that level of Dylan and Springsteen and all that, but there's not any guarantees, and if you're really going to pursue it, you have to put everything into it. And if that's all you're in it for, you definitely need to find a new line of work. I was with my oldest sister Tara and her husband Drew, and we were driving to my sister Christy's wedding in Dallas. And I had fallen asleep in the back seat of their car, and I woke up as we were passing through Durant, Oklahoma. And when you pass through there, the water tower says City of Magnolias on it, and I just kind of caught myself thinking, oh, that makes a really cool song title. And I kind of put it in the back of my mind. And so we went there and we did all the, we did the wedding, we did the reception, and on the way back home, we passed through Durant again, and I saw the water tower, and it reminded me, so I pulled out my tuxedo receipt and I jotted that on the back of it, and I went home that night. When I got home that night, I wrote the song. And I've learned since I wrote it that it's not about anybody in particular. It's about the hope that for anyone that's in love, you always want to believe that there's somewhere better, That there's some place where all the stress and all the things that can come between people, where that doesn't exist. And I don't know, I think everybody hopes that, Everybody hopes that there's somewhere you can go.
You are angelic without a choice. Of course, that's the way that it should be. You dress yourself in the finer things, with a smile that can make the devil sing praise. Pearls scatter across the floor, and you say, one's love is another's envy, but to your heart's protection I'm sworn, and we can build sanctuary, never to be broken or worn. We can build it up in the city of magnolias. We can build it up in the city of magnolias. And I'll love you like I should, like no one thought I could. At night we pray may nothing come between us. Being dreams or the desires of another. But Dallas is loud and vast and empty without your love. And Memphis lights shine too bright for my heart, and I worry I won't rise above. And sometimes I wonder